So when we came inside of this cave, which let me tell you, they don't have stairs. It's a steep incline to your death. So you get down here, and they had different Buddhas in different various sizes, which kind of creeps me out because they're always staring at you. Um, but they actually had a Buddhist monk down there giving blessings to people, which is really cool to see when you're not used to seeing that here in the States. I mean, we don't exactly have just Buddhist temples all over the place like they do. So it was a really cool experience, but getting back up that hill. I am not physically fit. So when I'm saying I'm huffing and puffing with a 50-year-old who's speeding up the hill, I mean, what does that say about me? But there was this humongous Buddha right here. It was, I have to say, about the length of this room, probably. And they had offerings that you could put towards the Buddha. They had a place to pray. So in other words, it's really cool how dedicated they are to their religion, because they have offerings all over their country, and they're just openly worshiping everywhere. And you see this, you see big Buddhas everywhere. They have big temples with, Buddhas like this. I mean, it's just, it's really cool to see how dedicated they are to their faith. And then I realized, why aren't we that dedicated here? Ponder that. But at this point, we were about 2 hours from our hotel, because we were supposed to be staying in a hotel in Hue Hin. Try to say that 10 times. And we had this awesome hotel that was on the beach. Let me just say, it started in luxury, and when we got to the end of the trip, it was not luxury. Because at the beginning of the trip, we had flushing toilets. Yeah. So Tuesday, was it Wednesday? It was Wednesday, the day after we flew in. So they had us come to our hotel in Hue Hin. We had a meeting until 11 p.m., so we were exhausted, and I got no sleep. Then the next day, they take us on a hike. I like to point out that it was not a hike. It was a mountain climbing range. I don't know what they were thinking, but this was not a hike. If I had a hard time at the Buddhist temple, imagine me here. Okay, you can see me right here. I'm exhausted. I am tired. I look like I'm dying. But they had this really pretty cove. I got to get on a swing. It took me 10 minutes to get on it, but once I was on it, I was having a blast. We got to take a boat out to go around the rocks, got to see the formations. It was really cool. I did not make it to the cave. I had some blood sugar issues, so I had to sit on the beach. But I got some cool pictures from my friends that actually are physically fit. So they had a cool monument inside of the cave, which, I mean, it's worth it after you hike up 3 mountains to get to this. So, I mean, maybe I should have did it. I don't know. But, I don't know. Look how big it is. Imagine us trying to do that here. We'd probably get sued. Because it's not a Burger King or Dunkin'. It's taking up commercial space. But here are some pictures from the hike. If you look in the middle, that was a lookout from one of the mountains. It was very, very high. Imagine a roller coaster. It was higher than that. So imagine blood sugar is low, right? Imagine this with me. I'm standing on high elevation. It was all good. I was fine, for the most part. But I look very in pain in this picture. So at least it's blurry so you can't see that. But here's another picture of the boat we were on. Super cool. Again, this is the luxury part. Then we go to our first day of medical training. This was Wednesday night. So imagine us going on a hike and then coming back and having to train. So we were, again, why is my face up there? We were at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Bangkok, which they also have a school there. So they have an Adventist school next to their church, which is super cool. But they also have a research and outreach program there that works with ASAP Ministries. And that's where our home base was for training. Here are some professional pictures that I did not do. This is someone from our team. Just like to point that out there. But we had dentistry that we were training for, which I was not doing that. I'm not touching people's teeth. But we had some pretty dedicated people on our team that did a really good job training for their dentistry. None of these people were actual dentists. We had no dentist on our team. This was purely, we had half a day to train, and that was it. And then for my training, I was on eyewear, so I was giving out glasses and giving vision tests, so I was basically being an eye doctor on this trip. In this picture over here, you can see that I'm waiting very patiently for people to come to my table. We had different, various, I don't know what they're called, but like the lenses that they have for eyeglasses, we had 1+ because we didn't have negative. Negative is the actual prescription. So we were only doing reading glasses, and so we had it from 1 to 4. And most of the time, we had people that needed something more than 4 because we had people that were practically blind. And the very first person, this is like, I got thrown into this, didn't even know that I was doing eye work until this day. And the very first person came to me and was like, I need eye surgery. And he was giving me his medical insurance. He was trying to be like, I need it now. And again, we're not eye doctors. We're not medically trained. We just have like simple training. So I couldn't exactly perform that. Like, I know first aid. But these people were willing to just have a random, non-medically trained person to just jab out their eye. It's just like, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. And so, but yeah, I just felt really bad because it's not like we had the training to do that. And they don't have, because we were working with refugees, and they can't get medical attention in Bangkok because they're not legally there. So, we had actual nurses there, not doctors, but we had actual nurses there. They were doing triage. Again, I was doing eyewear. This was our very first clinic in Bangkok. It was pretty good for our first clinic. I think it went really well. They made us a ton of food. We had samosas. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's fried and there's vegetables inside, mostly just potatoes, but it's really spicy. If you know anything about Thai food is really spicy. And I was the only person on mission team that liked spicy food. Everyone else is it spicy? Can I have some sour cream? No, they don't have sour cream there. And so they gave us these wonderful samosas, and then they had pita bread. I don't know if it's called pita bread, but it looked like it. And they had this type of vegetable mix. I don't know what it's called, but it was really good. And you dip your pita bread into it, or whatever the bread was called. Ooh, delicious. Then we had our dentist have a whole house to themselves to get everyone done. I believe our first day, like our first clinic for our eyewear, we had around 40 people come through that tiny house. And then for dentists, we only had 6 people doing teeth. But the amount of people that they did 20 people. And 20 people in a span of 4 hours, that's a lot of people. Because it takes a lot of work on their teeth because, again, they don't have medical insurance and they can't get checked out. And so there was, like, black tar on their teeth, gunk that has been there for years. And so our wonderful team, like, the fact that they got 20 people out of the way, I mean, that's pretty great. And then we had, at the end of the day, since they're refugees, they are not from Thailand, they did our henna. And henna is part of their their culture. And so apparently my henna was like, you're single, you have 2 days to find a man. No, thank you. But, because they would ask you, right, when you walk in the door, are you married? I'm like, no. And they act surprised because they get married young there. And they thought it was crazy that a 19-year-old girl was not married. Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool that they were doing that for us. That means that they opened their hearts and home to us, and they weren't scared of us, which is a really cool thing. I will take questions later. And then we come to our first Sabbath in Bangkok. This is before we got to the non-luxury part of our trip. The church is humongous, let me tell you. This is the same place that we had our training. It's just like a big metal building, but I mean, it's still humongous. And they had chairs, and the whole church was filled. Not a seat was empty. People were standing, and there was plenty of children there. And so it's really, it's a beautiful thing that even in their country that they're having such a big service. So, in the morning of us being there, we had a clinic, like a small little clinic, right, when they would come in. We had soup. They have like a morning soup that they do. Nothing sweet there, it's just savory food and spicy food. So they had the morning soup out and their hot cocoa, which is really good, but it's like, it helps you with your bones and your mind, and it keeps you boosted. I'm like, is this hot chocolate or is this a protein shake? I don't know anymore. But we had eyewear. We couldn't do dentistry because we had very little time before church, and we had a triage. So that was a really cool thing that we got to do for the church members itself. Because later on, after church and after potluck, we had a really huge clinic at the church. So the same place that we had the church service, we put the chairs away, and we had a big team of dentistry people on this side. I was over in the back dispensing glasses, and we had triage, we had massage tables out, we had people giving the eye tests, and then we had a prayer station. So we had youth ministers and pastors from our team and their church coming together and praying with these people. These people were not Adventist. These people came off the streets during the day to ask for our help. We had over 100 people that day. I think we had almost 300 people that day come through our church over there. I know that the eyewear, when I was dispensing, I gave out 100 glasses, which compared to our first clinic, that was a lot. It could have been more, but we had people come that didn't need glasses, and so they still came for sunglasses. So we still handed them something so that they felt like they were still being looked after. After that, they made us a wonderful dinner. They made us this fruit salad thing with rice, tempura, and different fruits. So they had bananas, mango, and I forgot, and what is that purple sweet potato, obviously. But their big fruit there is a potato, like a purple sweet potato. They use it for their desserts because they don't do much sweets there, and that's the healthiest thing they can come to. But it was really good. And then they had spaghetti. They made us American spaghetti, and it was really good. Then we come to our final and last clinic in Bangkok. This one was just we were in the middle of nowhere. I forget where it was. And we had tents set up for different stations, again, for all the stations I listed before. And it was really busy that day. It was really good, though. It was good seeing people coming through. Again, we had dentistry, eyewear. There's me dispensing eyeglasses. Again, the testing for eyeglasses. And then that's my friend in that corner. She's peacing out. And yeah, that was a good day. We passed out, I think, 95 glasses that day, which in a non-building setting, that's a lot. I think that's like the closest number I think it was. But again, I can't remember, it was a month ago. But we had big tents set up. Again, we had massage, we had dentists going at it, and then they made us lunch. They had put it into black containers for us, and they made us rice. Let me tell you, rice is in every meal. You will not see rice there. Rice is in piles. That is your main dish. So they had white rice, they had lo mein, and they had like a vegetable mixture. I can't remember what it was called, but all good food. And then they gave us these round brown fruits, and I'm trying to remember their name, but you can only get them in Thailand, and they come on a branch. And I don't have a picture of them, but they're really sweet and sour at the same time, and they kind of taste like a grapefruit that's on a sugar high. But it's really, really good. And they would serve that in every single meal, and it was just a good treat for us. This was our entire team for that specific clinic. You have people from Thailand, from the ASAP office there. You had people from this community there, and of course our team. And then if you could see, you could play Where's Waldo, I'm somewhere in that picture. Next is a place where I can't tell you the exact place that we were at for different reasons. I'm just going to call it Northern Thailand. Northern Thailand was a great place to be. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, the views were gorgeous. Our elevation was not so gorgeous because you would get headaches for days, but we were setting up. This was Group A. I was Group A. We were at a school there, a Seventh-day Adventist school. It's a boarding school. And we were setting up different tents for the different stations at the clinic for this specific group. There's me. I didn't take that picture. But I was giving out glasses again. And we had the first day that we were there for 3 days for this clinic. The first day we were there, we gave out more than 100 glasses. I think it was close to 300. In the total of 2 days, I think it was close to 600 glasses. But in total of glasses that we had, I think we gave out probably 600 glasses entirely in the 3 days that we had. So, I mean, I might be off on a few of those numbers, but I'm thinking that's what I remember. At least that's how it felt. But the school was fighting pink eye, and I was on the eye team. There was only 2 of us here for the team for eyeglasses, so not only were we both doing eye test, registration, dispensing out glasses, and then moving them on to their next station, we had to clean glasses because the last day that we were there for the clinic, all the students came through, hundreds of them with pink eye. And so we had to clean a lot of glasses over and over again. It was like so fun. But again, super great experience. I've had a lot of experience with health expos because my father does a bunch of them. Well, he used to do a bunch of them back in Wisconsin. So I had plenty of experience with registration and getting them set on their way. We ran out of sunglasses that day. We had 7 boxes of women's sunglasses and 6 or 5 of the men's sunglasses. All of them were gone. And then a lot of the times the students would just come through for testing just for sunglasses. And so at the time, I was like, okay, instead of going through all of this information, can you see this, or this letter? And if they could see all of them, I'm like, okay, you just need sunglasses then. And they would look, oh, okay. And then I caught on to their whole thing. They were only coming through for sunglasses at that point, and so they were just playing with me, but it was fun. My translator, I had 2 different translators because no one spoke English there except for those translators, and so they were a godsend because I don't speak Thai. Um, but they both were really great guys. They did a great job trying to translate my whole spiel with the people in front of me, and we were the fastest team to get done with all of our people. So, I mean, there's that. If we could not have me on the screen for this part. These kids, my goodness, these kids are hilarious. They were playing soccer all day long, and they would start laughing at me because they had puppies on campus there. And if you know me, animals are my weakness. So is my mom. And so I would go, "Hi, puppy," and I would go and pet the puppy, and the kids will all laugh because, oh, this crazy white girl's like going after this puppy. You know what I mean? Okay, next, I was in charge of vacation Bible school for Group A. We couldn't do vacation Bible school our first night. We did not have the supplies ready. But I was ready for day 2 and 3. The first night we did Daniel. And so I told the story of Daniel. It was an object lesson. And then we had a craft. And so they were all coloring and they were having a blast. I would give out stickers. And they would laugh when I'm trying to like glue their stuff together because we had papers that had to go on top of other papers. They just found it funny that I was having a heck of a time with the glue because the glue was getting on the floor. I'm just a clumsy person, so that's just it. But we also, at the end, in this these pictures over here, we were singing. And the end song we were standing in a circle and we were holding hands. And when we got to the chorus, we would put our hands up and then we'd get down. And then we would swing side to side. It was a fun time. But I can't show you pictures that I had taken of the kids' faces. These are just pictures from ASAP of the kids there. But this is a picture of them coloring their 5 loaves and 2 fishes because that was our next night. Again, more glue. But it was a great experience, and I really love kids. And so I think this was definitely the highlight of my trip, I would say, is, teaching the kids more about God. I think that's just the most rewarding part of it. Then we come to our last day in Bangkok. This was our Sabbath there. Not Bangkok, Mae Sot. Again, this is not the actual location, this is just general. On this far picture over here, this is our entire team that went over there. And then the whole school on this picture sang us songs for special music. And they sang 5 songs for special music, not just 1. And it was beautiful. They were singing in Thai, and then 2 of their songs was in English. And it was so great. And then these are my friends that I made on the Thailand trip. They were also a godsend. They made the trip so much better. They helped me through so much. And I should have took this baby with me, but this baby, this baby is so cute. She's a refugee, but so she has a hard life ahead of her, but she's just the sweetest, happy baby that you've ever seen. And it was just, I wanted to put her in my bag and take her with me. This was some of our food. That was actually what we had for every meal. Rice, these crispy, I don't know what they were, but they were delicious and spicy, and of course I like spice. And then we had vegetables. There was a lot of okra there too, which was really good. Their okra was really good. But yeah, it was so good. And then in the top picture, there we go. Those are papayas. Did you know that papayas grow on a papaya tree? I didn't. For some reason, I thought they were in the ground. Don't ask me why. But papaya is a big, prominent fruit there as well. Papaya and, what is another one? Durian. Durian smells. Durian there is actually banned from hotels. They will kick you out. It smells like rotten eggs on steroids. And people eat it for fun. And it's candy. And they sell these durian candies everywhere in Thailand. They're disgusting. I tried one. It almost tastes like garlic, which is a weird taste for a fruit. And then if you look on my face, there is yellow stuff. That is their sunscreen. It is a type of clay that they use. It comes hard, and you have to wet it, and you put it on your face. And they like to do designs. And this one girl was like, "Can I put it on your face?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And so she put little sunshines on my cheeks. Let's talk about toilets. Okay, so this was our first option of toilet. I'm not going to show you the other picture of the other toilet. It's disgusting. But this was the one toilet that they had over in the non-luxury side. You went to the bathroom, and then you would take the bucket, put water in it, and put it in the toilet. And that's how you flushed your toilet, because they don't have a flushing system there. The next toilet option that they have, which I'm not going to put a picture up there, that's disgusting, it was a hole in the ground. If you guys were here for my Africa talk years away, yeah. We're not going to talk about how many years it was. But it was a hole in the ground, and I was used to that. And it's actually healthier for you to squat than to, yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight. And it's dark. They don't have lights in those bathrooms. And there were spiders everywhere. I was not for it. Okay, this was another highlight of my trip. Ancient city in Thailand. This is a cultural place. It's kind of like in Hawaii, they also have a cultural center there that just steps you through their culture, what they do. For Hawaii, they showed you their dances and what they ate. Here, it was their buildings and their history with their different emperors that they have there. So these are just a few of many pictures that I took. If I showed you all of them, we'd be here for days. But there are, oh my goodness, architecture there. And their design is just beautiful there. I love their buildings. And every building has a story. And they also had temples there too. So they had different places for their different gods that they had there. There's me standing in front of two of them, looking awkward as can be. But if you look at this square up in the other, can you go up to that one square? Yeah. I was just like, I was really confused for a little bit because I was trying to figure out what was up there, but it's different people doing their cultural dance in a circle, and then you have the men holding out snakes. Can you imagine what that story is? That is a ceiling, yes. And in Thailand, you had to take your shoes off before you would enter any building, and this was one of those buildings that you had to take your shoes off even though it was open. Okay. Can you unzoom it? There, unzoom it. I know. Ah. Oh my goodness. There we go. Can you unzoom? Oh, there we go. Here are some three other buildings that they had. This one on the far right, this is on the top of a homemade, they made this, it's a cliff. So it's a structure. It's not a real cliff. It's not a real mountain. They made it out of big metal poles and shafting. Is that what it's called? Scaffolding. Thank you. And so when we run around the whole cliff, you would see the different layers that they were building on. And it was actually closed because it was falling. But the other two, this middle picture, we got to actually go inside. It was a really tiny hole, but we all fit through. It was really cool to look inside too because they also have scribblings inside. And then in the far left picture, they have another little offering area. Last but not least, The night market. The night market is kind of like a farmer's market, but better. And here's why. They had mango sticky rice, and mango sticky rice is so delicious. And they had different shops that had different clothing in it. They had coconuts that they would just whip up and make you ice cream on the spot. And those are also some of my friends. Let's see, did I? And then I'm going to show you some of the stuff I bought. This is one of them. And then this is one of their traditional shirts, which they hand make, which my friend bought this for me, Amy. And then these are pants. Pants. So you put them on, and then there's a tie. They're kind of like parachute pants, kind of. And you tie them to whatever length you want. They're super flowy and they're super cute. Then we have these pants. They really like their colors over there. So different. And then I forgot to show this earlier, but the school that we were at for our very last portion of the trip, they made us these bags. Homemade. So they spent months on these things. But I wasn't just going to keep this out in the open. But this is the Thailand money that they have here. This is 20 baht. 20 baht is like cents. It's not that much. Which I have a lot of that because it was a lot. Then we have 100 baht. 100 baht could buy you a pair of pants. Their economy there is so good, you could pay $5 for pants. Which here, you can't do that. And I don't think I have it. I think I just have a bunch of 20s. But they have 500 baht, and then they have 1,000 baht. And 1,000 baht is $30 in US dollars. So just kind of figure that out. But that's all I got. But if you'd like to learn more about ASAP and their mission trips, I got a cool QR code somewhere. Not there, apparently. But there will be a QR code that you can scan with your phone. It talks about their mission story and what they do. And you can also donate on there as well. But I think we're already supporting a child from Thailand, which I find ironic that I already went, which is good. So we're already supporting them. I can take questions after church, okay? Because now it is time for our closing hymn. Jesus Paid It All, number 184.
Please stand. 184.